I'm going to show how to replace the temperature sensor in a 2017 Chevy Silverado. I purchased this one at my local auto parts store. This sensor comes pre-treated with a locking sealant embedded within the threads. If the sealant isn't present, use Teflon tape. Begin by releasing the hood and accessing the engine. Then, disconnect the battery cable from the negative post. This is recommended because it lowers the risk of electrical components being compromised when working in the engine compartment. This is the top view of the engine. The temperature sensor is located in this area. It is hidden beneath the corner of the air intake duct. And here is a view from the top. In order to access the temperature sensor, the air intake duct will have to be removed. There are 4 components that need to be detached in order to remove this duct. The left and right crankcase ventilation tubes, the airbox hose, and the throttle body hose. Begin by locating the ventilation tube on the right side. Push up on the spring-loaded lock and work the connection off as seen here. Now locate the ventilation tube on the left-hand side. This one will be released by pushing down on the locking mechanism. This one took a little more effort to unplug. Next, locate the throttle body hose. Use a nut driver or a screwdriver to release the hose clamp as seen here. And finally, locate the airbox hose. Release this hose clamp in the same manner. Once the hoses have been detached, lift the air duct out and set aside. The temperature sensor can now be easily accessed. Begin by unplugging the wire connector. To do this, take your thumb and press in on the release tab and pull. Next, use a 19mm deep socket to remove the sensor. Once loose, use your fingers to remove it the rest of the way. Note, you may lose some coolant when removing. Next, wipe the area clean using a clean rag. Once clean, insert the new temperature sensor and hand thread into place. Finish tightening using the 19mm deep socket. Once tight, return the plug to the sensor. Simply align it in its original orientation and snap it into place. The air intake duct can now be reinstalled. First, plug it into the throttle body and then reattach the airbox hose. Make sure the hose and hose clamp are positioned in their original location and resecure as seen here. Once again, do not over-tighten. You do not want to damage the hose or the clamp. Next, reattach the ventilation tubes. Simply plug them back into place on the air ventilation duct. Once both sides have been reconnected, replenish any fluids that may have been lost. Make sure to purchase the proper coolant for your vehicle. This is the Prestone coolant for GM vehicles. This one is not the concentrated coolant that needs water added to it. This is one that's pre-diluted 50-50. Making sure the engine is cool, add the coolant until it reaches the fill line. Use a funnel to keep the spills to a minimum. Recheck the level after running the engine and allowing it to cool. And finally, reconnect the battery, and the truck is now ready to use.